Welcome to the ESPYs. It's like walking into a big auditorium. Just like close your eyes and imagine that you're in a gigantic, amazing red carpet. You know what I mean? All kinds of people welcoming you. You know, TV cameras, all this stuff.
Picture.
I mean, it's kind of, you know, symbolic. It works. We started here. We did our orientation. We got ourselves organized. We had tons of meetings in this area. And now here we are concluding an unbelievable season here. Yes?
Yeah.
We all feel like a little bit disappointed because we didn't make it all the way to the stars. We just have to be happy with the moon. Right? What was the stars? We wanted to be state champions. We were on that quest and we worked towards it. And no one was going to beat us. It was just a matter of could we beat them. That's what every game came down to. Could we beat them? Could we score? Could we, you know, not give the ball up while we were playing? The team that we just were watching the video of was us versus Cerritos, and you can see it online. Anytime you want, us passing the ball the whole time, trying to break down the state champions, the teams that went to the Final Four and walked it. So we have to settle with the moon, which is we played great, we just couldn't get that other goal, and then we went into the Russian roulette of penalty kicks. But why is the moon still great? The moon is great because three-time back-to-back-to-back WSC champions. That's never been done before. Okay, I want you to know that Santa Barbara had some amazing teams back in the day. The guy who's coaching UCSB used to coach Santa Barbara City College. And they had some unbelievable teams. They were bringing in foreigners and the good players. Players from Oxnard were going up there, players from all around California, and they were conference champions a lot of times. But they never won it 3 times in a row. And he was there for like 6 or 7 years. Glendale had some amazing teams back in the day. They used to bring in all these people back in the 80s and stuff like that. They never won it 3 times in a row. Hancock, believe it or not, had some amazing players. Never won it 3 times in a row. Moore Park, all these teams. No one in the history of the WSC in the 40 years, whatever it's been around, has ever won 3 times in a row. So that's why we are here to celebrate. And not only that, we ended up number 12 in the country. So out of all the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and maybe thousands, I don't know how many junior colleges there are and how many programs there are, but out of all of them, we ended up number 12. We wanted number 1, but we have to settle with number 12. I guarantee there's a lot of kids and a lot of players and a lot of coaches who would be freaking stoked to be as disappointed as we are right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I brought some stuff out. I brought this. You guys were looking at it earlier. This is the picture of the first year that I was here with a ragtag bunch of guys we put together between May, June, July, and in August we got together and we started off 0-7. And then we pulled together. And when we pulled together, which is another reason we're in this room squeezed in. I was thinking about going over there. I was thinking of, you know, in the PE4 or, you know, being all spread out in the cafeteria or, you know, going and paying a bunch of money for a room in a restaurant. But the thing that gets us through the good times and the bad times is we stuck together all the way through. It wasn't easy. We stuck together. And these guys stuck together through an 0-7 start and ended up coming all the way to, basically we lost the championship in the final minute in injury time. When one of our guys was going the other way with the ball, got taken down. We all kind of thought it was a foul. The ref didn't call it. They went the other way. And the leading scorer, who's now a professional in Peru, got in behind, rounded our goalie, and he had scored 27 goals that year, and he passed the ball, and we almost cleared it, but we didn't. So when you're disappointed with not winning a state championship, think how disappointed those guys were with not winning a conference championship. But they laid the groundwork for what you were able to accomplish later on. And all the alumni that came along laid the groundwork. And then they went and they made something of themselves. They fought honorably in the armed forces at Desert Storm and all that. Or they went on and became top student athletes at different universities and got degrees. And now they're doing stuff like accountants, pro soccer players, they got families, they're running businesses, I mean all kinds of stuff. So that's where you are, and you are just the next step. In 2007, we had this group that came along, and they were the first to take the step to overcome that hurdle of winning the championship. And now you know the guys like Gabby Gonzalez. You guys know Gabby, right? His name's right here on this ball. And Jose Vasquez. Maybe you don't know about Jose Vasquez, but players like that. What did Jose do from Wainimi High School? He barely started from Wainimi High School. Came over here, I told him, no, you're not good enough, and I treated him like crap. Like I treat all you guys like crap when you first show up. See what you're made of, see what you got, where you're gonna be when times get tough. If you can't handle me, how are you gonna handle Cerritos, Long Beach, in the playoffs, where they make you park your car 3 different frickin' times while you're doing a warm-up. While you're there, and they say, no, get out of the way, you can't shoot right now because we gotta reline the 16-yard box into an 18-yard box. Yeah? You can't handle me, how are you gonna handle that? Well, Jose Vasquez came, got better, wouldn't stop coming no matter how much I abused him, wouldn't stop coming, and then that guy not only led us to a championship, he also then went and got a scholarship and went to Hawaii and played for 2 years in Hawaii, got a degree, and then he moved to Puerto Rico and he played for the Puerto Rico Islanders as a professional for 3 years. He's had more of a freaking pro career than Gabby, who was the star. So don't tell me that you can't do great things, because you are just the latest in a line of people who've come from this community doing amazing things. And that's what we're here to celebrate tonight. We're not allowed to drink alcohol, but I brought the Martinellis because it looks like champagne. Kind of take, close your eyes and smell it a little bit. It's like, oh, it's champagne. I feel good. I feel kind of good. Right? But we should be splashing that stuff over our heads for the achievement that we did this year and last year. And whoever was here the year before that helped us. Right? And so in 2011, just to show you how tough community college soccer is, a group of guys in your shoes and sitting where you are, freaking couldn't even win the league when they went undefeated throughout the league. Undefeated throughout the league. But Santa Barbara had an amazing team, bunch of foreigners, they played awesome. And what happened against Santa Barbara? We lost the championship in the final day when we tied instead of won. They won it by a single point. It was very close. They were good. We were probably better, but we stole it from them a couple years. They stole it from us. That's how soccer, that's how sports work. But that team went all the way to the Mount Sac and lost in the quarterfinals, and that's why they ended up number 8 in the country. And they had nothing to celebrate except for being number 8. They weren't even conference champions. So the last group that came almost as far as you guys, they didn't make it to penalty kicks because they lost 2-0 to Mount Sac in an unfortunate day where their Chris Schmidt ran into a freaking gas main or whatever, and we'd be evacuated from the field. Anyone hear that story? So we spent 4 hours cruising around the campus trying to stay away from the gas, only to come back and have to play again. But I was certainly glad that evening when we outplayed them for the second 60 minutes, just like we did for the first 30 minutes, that I had put those guys through hell, and now I had a bunch of warriors who would fight together. And they came close to scoring, they came close, but it was just too much of a hurdle. And then of course Mount Sac, what did they do? They went on and won the whole thing by a mile. That's how close. And so you are laying the groundwork, and we will continue working, but you have to remember that the important thing is not who ends up with the trophy. The important thing is who you end up when you are done with this journey, and where you're going to go and what you're going to do from now on. So hopefully you will continue to be the champions and the warriors and the amazing people that I think that I have been so fortunate to coach. So let's get going, because it's awards, and we're going to not stay here too long, and we're going to start giving out awards to freshmen, huh? But you know who I start the awards with every single year? Is Mark. Where's Mark? Okay,
Mark!
Come on up here, Mark. I start with Mark every year because
Eres un crack!
he's the best. Isn't he the best?
Yeah!
I mean, if anybody could represent everything that we represent, it's Mark Pinland. Did he not show up every single day?
Yeah.
Right? Did he not write on the board what we were doing when we were doing all the weights and exercises?
Yes, sir.
Did he not step up and go to Facebook and then start giving you like itemized definitions of the exercises that you were doing so you could understand?
Yes, sir.
Did he not show up? And every time you were thirsty just a little bit from having sprinted or tackled or worked or whatever, wasn't Mark standing right there giving you freaking some water? Every time, every time. And wasn't he giving Yoshi a hard time, freaking Yoshi, when Yoshi didn't bring the water on time? And who cared more every time we didn't score? Yeah, I'm like, well, we'll try and get the next one. Mark's like, what the hell did that guy miss for? He should have scored it. Mark's running on the field and Brian's holding him back. This guy is a legend, and every year, you know, the last few years, Mark has made my job so much easier. We don't have that much money, so we don't have that much of a staff. I'm lucky with the guys that I have that help me, but I wouldn't do it if Mark wasn't going to do it. And so every year I go to this meeting and they vote me and they give me this award, Coach of the Year, because I don't think it's called Coach of the Year. I think it should be called the dude with the most good players that year, right? Because that's what I got. I got tons of great players and they go out there and they kill the other pretty good players from the other schools, and at the end of the day I'm the one standing there holding the award, right? So, but what I like to do to this year, and I think what I did last year, is give this award to Mark Pinlander, because I think he embodies together and he embodies everything that we do the best out of all of us, and he deserves Coach of the Year. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Yeah.
Yes. Mark, we'll be back in January, right? Working with the next crew of knuckleheads, see what the heck happens. All right, so let's get going. We got a ton of guys to go through, and we'll start with freshmen, huh? Freshmen. All right, so classic. Just do Cliff. All right. Let's start with Ivan. Your name came up first. Come on up here, Ivan Donuts. Man, okay, now Ivan, you this guy, okay, you were good enough to join an unbelievable squad at the tail end. I mean, that says a lot about your natural talent. And then you had enough character and patience to bide your time, never complain, and continue working hard the entire time. And then when we were desperate for a winning goal at Citrus, boom, I put in Ivan. You hadn't played in a while, and you scored. I mean, then, I won't even get to the next one, but let's just talk about that one first. Okay, that's what makes championships. When Mission, who came in second in our league, went to Citrus, and everyone thinks, oh, Citrus should be an easy game. It's not a freaking easy game. You're out of your mind. Citrus beat Mission, which is what separated us, so we could, control the game, the second game against Mission. The reason they tied that game was because they didn't have depth, is what the pros call it. They didn't have an Ivan Donis to step on the field and go, you know what, this is a situation where I can handle it and just take care of business for my team, and if they only need me to do 5 minutes and a goal, I'll do 5 minutes and a goal. If they need me to do 90 minutes, I'll do 90 minutes, whatever they need. And it's contributions like that that make my job so easy and makes me think, thank God that I have quality people. And that's why we're champions. That's why. The job on the field, being there the whole time, that's almost a lot easier than what you had to do. And then to prove my point about how much character you have, we went to Long Beach. Remember that game? And we kicked the ball and they kicked us, which is the usual pattern. And we had a lot of subs. Everybody had to sub in. Every single player. The only guy I had left was David, right? And I was trying to figure out if I need to put him in the back line or something like that. I was trying to find him a uniform, our backup goalie. And it came down to it, and the thing for me is I already know what's going to happen. I know it in my heart what's going to happen. Okay, I knew we were in trouble when we went to penalty kicks against Cerritos. I knew it, because I just know. And that's why I was trying my hardest to try and push more players forward and get a winning goal, even at their home, because I just knew we were in trouble. It's just I get these feelings, you just do. When you're around a group enough, you just know. But I knew we were going to handle Long Beach. Why'd I know? Because I saw Ivan Donis walking up the field. And I saw him walk up, and everyone's sweating, everyone's going crazy, and I go, Ivan Donis has too much character to let us down at this crucial moment. And for a guy that hasn't played enough, right? I wish I had, every year I say it, we have 2 teams that would win a lot of stuff. You would be the starting center forward on that. So what you have to do is what Diego and all the guys did last year, is take the next step and go and become a starter and a leader and work us. And hopefully I will be able to find some 2015 freshmen who will display as much character as you did, not just in those 2 moments, but in every moment, in every practice that you never missed, and every game you always showed up and you always worked your ass off and you always provided so much good scoring ability. Thank you, Ivan. Julio's still here. Julio was on our team for 5 minutes, and then I told him to wait till next year, but he had some life problems and he had to handle. But Julio was an important member of the Oxnard College community, and I hope he goes on when he handles the stuff. But that's what happens in this community. That's one of the hurdles we have to overcome, which makes the things that we win even more special, because people got obstacles. I mean, how many times we practice and the sirens go by? Julio's not in that kind of trouble, but he got a certificate of participation. Same with Noel, who had to go work. Same with Oscar. Same with dude, who wrote these things? Some of these guys I haven't seen in a long time. Okay, next, Danny Aguilar, come on up. Mr. Aguilar, now you are an excellent player, and every time you came in, you settled the back line and did perfect. What we're going to work on is you being the leader. You're going to be the Diego for next year. You're going to run the show, and you're going to bring the ball up, and you're going to go all the way up and score goals. What I liked best about Danny was when he was at Moore Park. Remember we played at Moore Park, and he was doing all those moves up the sideline? and the other team's coach was looking at me like, is that your center back? Yeah, that's my center back. And you were perfect. And then you went in, and in the games, in playoffs, all the time, you settled us down. I think the only thing that hurt you this year was that you spent a lot of the off season working, and maybe you weren't sure if you were going to play, and you weren't sure. But then once you decided, you really helped us out, and you really stepped up. It's contributions like yours, just like Ivan's, just like anybody else, that really separated us from the pack this year and made my job really easy. I'm looking forward to working with you every single day this year as you step into a leadership position on this team and you take control. And Danny is the type of guy that when you keep going, you set your mind to it, you're going to be able to do whatever. Because as soon as we started showing you some dribble moves, then you were doing it all the time. Too much. Elmer was screaming at you half the time, like, no, Danny, not there, not there. But you did an excellent job, okay? And you're going to be a leader next year. So thank you for all your contributions. Also Christian Yepes, who disappeared at the end, but he did a good job for a lot of the time. Okay, so let's keep going. Who else is here? Stick with freshmen. Give me whatever freshman we got. Roy. Where's Roy? Anyone know where Roy is?
He chopped his finger.
How do you chop his finger?
At work.
At work? McDonald's?
Like, it's gone.
Like it's just like a little part.
Like it's not there anymore?
Like, hey, Johnny, how are you?
All right, let's just keep going. This is going to be, okay, this is no particular order. Okay, I don't know. Obviously, we're not as organized around here as we but I want to bring up Jimmy Villanueva. Okay, come on up here, Jimmy. This guy, okay. Jimmy, and Speedy share a certain quality in the game, which is you control the pace of the game. And I think that the reason I like players like you in the midfield is because you're able to control when we attack, where we attack, and how quickly we're going to attack. Is it going to be now, or is it going to be 20 minutes from now? And this year, you were one of the guys in the end who had to come in and out. And you never complained, you never missed. What I'll remember about you all 2014 was that you never missed one practice. The entire preseason, the entire summer, spring, all the way through the season, you did excellent the entire year. And you kept showing up, you kept showing up, and you kept improving, you kept getting fitter and stronger. And when you get the ball, you never turn it over. You know, you confuse normal coaches who don't have the pleasure and the privilege of working in these type of communities because they don't see what you bring to the game. What you bring to the game is the ability to move the ball side to side and have patience. Nobody wants patience. They want a big guy up top, kick it up to that guy, bomb, cause some ruckus, and hopefully we get a shot off. Don't take a risk, don't take anything. You have patience, you have discipline, you are there all the time, you are consistent, you move the ball side to side, and you do all the things in the middle that make a huge difference. Especially to teams like ours. Unfortunately, you're in a country where they don't always appreciate that, but that's okay because you're here with us. And what you're going to do now is take Speedy's role and take what you do naturally and bring it to Oxnard College Condors and work towards controlling every game we have next year from start to finish as a starter. And that is the leadership that you're going to bring, just like Danny this coming off season and then this coming next year. So hopefully we can continue having great parties like this and celebrating big time championships and stuff like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Would you agree with what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So I am so happy to get to coach you, and thank you for all that you did this year. And I'll never forget in the game against Long Beach when you were, we put you in, Speedy came out and it was overtime and everybody was tired. And then, I don't know, I just remember like Elmer was screaming because he couldn't play from the bench, and then boom, you just came sprinting past some guy like twice your size and got the ball and went up the corner, and I forget what happened after that, but I'll just remember you flying forward. And so it's like an action hero coming from the flames. Arnold Schwarzenegger. So just bring that intensity because it's still college soccer. Bring it to every single practice. Yes? And demand the best. Demand what you bring to from everybody. Yes?
Don't be scared, Jimmy.
Oh boy, all right, let's get down to business. Let's keep going here. All right, who are we going to go with next? Christian Guzman, come on up here. Pele, Sergio Aguero. This guy. Man, how lucky am I that I get to work in this community and players like Christian just freaking walk up one day and go, yeah, I won't play. I'm good. I'm in. Oh, you don't? Okay. No, I should play. Oh, okay, I'll play. Next year. Oh, okay. That's this guy, right? I mean, that's like having a conversation with Carlos Tevez and him going, would you like me to play for you? That doesn't make any sense. And it happens every single year. There was a guy named Urbano. I mean, remember him? He plays for the red team in Grambling. And just, you guys are unbelievable. And didn't this guy play awesome this year?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he had a disadvantage because he was injured for like a lot of the preseason, like almost all of August and a bit at the beginning of September. And so he lost fitness and he wasn't quite as strong as he should have been going into a college game and you're playing freaking center forward in a college game. It's not like you're in the midfield and you can move. You have to like body up and do a lot of stuff, and you have to defend and pressure, and you're marking up their biggest, strongest dudes. And you still did a great job. And every time I asked him to do a movement, usually I got to show it to people, but the thing that is special about your type of player is you just implement and you just know. already, because everything else is so easy that doing what I ask is just like, okay, it's special. It's special. And I'm really looking forward to building the entire team around you and players like you that we have next year. Okay? It's a special thing. So I am telling you, yes, you're going to play next year. You don't have to worry about, unbelievable. Okay, so this year, not only did you score a bunch of goals and help us to the Western State Conference Championship, but you also were voted by the conference coaches honorable mention, right? I think that honorable mention is only a token of what you brought to our team. There's not enough awards to go around, but next year even you could be even more, a lot more than that. Okay, so congratulations on this. This is a big deal, and I'm looking forward to big things in the future from you. Okay. Edwin Elizaraz.
Tiger.
All right, Mr. How do you say your last name? Elizaraz? It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
One more time.
So, how much? I don't even want, I'm not gonna ask you how much you weigh because that'd be embarrassing on TV. But there's no way you weigh like. What I'm trying to say is you got to be the lightest center back in the history of soccer. Would you guys agree? Have anyone ever seen a lighter center back? I mean, like dripping wet. There's no way. But that then means that pound for pound, you are one of the best center backs I've ever seen. Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
I mean, pound for pound, if you measured like a boxer, who's better than this guy? Throwing his body in front of tackles. Somehow, when you jump, you just keep going, and then you win the header. Your timing is perfect. And then, of course, you're passing out of the back. And, I mean, I can't tell you how many times this year, me and Lalo probably had the only view, and Brian, who always looks at the game from the back, of course. We looked on the field, and we saw our entire team up there in the 18-yard box, except for you and the goalie. And for whatever reason, I wasn't worried. I wasn't worried. I was like, we got it. We got it covered. We're okay. Because every time you would just kind of edge into the perfect position and see where it was going, and then as soon as the ball was hit, boom. Timing's perfect, step in, back to Lalo, step in, complete it, win the header, boom. Every single time. I don't think I ever saw him kick the ball out of bounds. Did you guys ever see him kick the ball out of bounds?
No.
Ever. And that is like on how many counterattacks? Because we were on the attack the whole freaking time. It's special, and I don't know how you did it, and I don't want to know, really. Just keep doing it, okay? And keep doing it next year. And if it turns out that your best position is defensive mid, or maybe we find out that you could go up top and be just as influential, then we'll do that. Wherever is best for you, because you have proven yourself to be an unbelievable player. I mean, we had some other defenders who are just as excellent, and we couldn't take you out. And that says a lot on this team. That says a lot with this team's record and this team's standard for you to do so much this year. You really shocked me. Okay, so I was not expecting that, and I'm super glad we found it because we're going to build the defense around you and Danny Aguilar and Brian next year, and I think we'll be pretty solid. Right? So, well done. Congratulations. And also, you got second team all conference voted by the. Lalo, come on up.
Manalalo.
Lalo.
Manalalo.
Sharky. Okay, so if Edwin is pound for pound the best defender I've seen in a long time, then you are inch for inch the best I'm not trying to insult you, okay, but I have like a litmus test, okay? You guys ever heard of Groundhog Day? No? Okay, Groundhog Day is this thing in the East Coast when like the groundhog, if he comes out and does something, then it's going to be a rainy season or something, whatever. It's just like a way of seeing the future weather-wise. Okay?
Yeah.
When I see Lalo, when I see the goalie every year, if I look up, you know, damn, we're gonna have a great year. If I look down, it's gonna be a little bit tougher. So this year I looked this way and I was like, I'm not sure what's gonna happen. So Lalo, you took over. You stepped in there and you're calm and you're poised and you move the ball around and you're knocking the ball inside the 18-yard box without fear, without any problems, setting up all of our attacks, and boom. And then your shot stopping ability and your reflexes, I mean, I don't understand why they call you Sharky. It's usually like a cat thing, but it's his nickname. But you were excellent, excellent, excellent all year long. So excellent that David Nava, who's an unbelievable goalie, didn't get to play as much as I would have liked to have David play, because you were so consistent all the time. And so I'm so blessed to get players like you to come, okay? And the way that you handle yourself as a professional, because we're not professionals, but we're trying to be professionals. All of us are trying to be professionals. You know, that's what we try to do. And the coaches are trying to be professional, and you guys are trying to be professional, so that just in the off chance that one of you gets a break, boom, you already know how to be a professional, and you can walk in there and handle yourself. I have no doubt that if any pro team takes a chance on you, you will be perfect. And then, of course, none of us are going to forget the playoff game at Long Beach, where, boom, we're down there, and it's their home field, and they are a very, very good team with good forwards and all this blah, blah, blah. And who steps up? Bam. Bam. And I know it's been eating you alive, the Cerritos penalty kick shootout, but I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change what you did. I wouldn't change anything. It's just the way that it goes. They hit some pretty damn good shots. And penalty kicks are there to be messed up. But if they don't mess up, it's not really anything the goalie can do, I think. Anyway, so you got to let yourself go. Okay, you got to let that go. But what you got to do is let that go, exhale, exactly, and then from there, you got to start to inhale and start to work your ass off for next year, so that you and David can take us all the way a few steps further than we went this year. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what the pact that we made last year when Diego and Speedy and Jaime and all the guys were playing, and we had, you know, a rough time at San Bernardino, and we didn't come out with the win. Well, what we did is we decided what we were going to work every single day, and then we went 2 steps further this year, right? And so that's what we need you to do. And from the back forward, keep doing what you do, handling every cross, handling every situation, and keep improving, right? And keep improving, because you were spectacular all year long, perfect all year long, and then Long Beach, I knew. Just Cerritos, those guys were good, and they were good. So please, use that as fuel, okay? Use that as fuel. There's no way to sugarcoat it. We're not going to do it, you know? Every one of us is going to use that as fuel, right? It's almost better. It's almost better that we leave a little bit on the table every single year. I know it sucks. I know it hurts. I know, believe me. Every single year we leave a little bit on the table, a little bit left. But why is that crucial? Because hopefully you will take that and you will use it as fuel for everything else you're going to do in your life. Okay? Not just here in the soccer, but school, everything else, work, whatever it is you're going to do. Okay? So you're an awesome example for anyone who's going to come. I'm going to find more Carpinteria guys, because you and Edwin are like perfect. Okay? And so we're going to build a team around your type of character. Okay? So I want to tell you that you were voted second team all-conference for your contributions this year. Sign up for the freaking class, man. Sign up. Why didn't you guys sign up for the class? Unbelievable.
This row. It's upside down.
Too nervous?
Okay, so what we did this year, okay, what we do every year as far as team awards is there's a Condor Award, there is a MVP, and what's Condor, MVP, and Freshman of the Year. Okay, those are the 3. So this year, because the team was so freaking excellent, I was talking, I was asking, we were trying to figure it out. I couldn't figure it out in the end. And so we got ties. There was ties for MVP, there was a tie for the Condor Award, and there was a tie for Freshman of the Year. Okay. I mean, I really, it's very difficult to pick out of a group like this, it's very difficult to pick out who should be a one specific award, because like the thing about us is that we don't have any specific stars. We just have a bunch of stars who work together, right? And so it's, how can I make a call on that? Anyway, one of the stars is this year, and he's going to be receiving the Condor Award. And the Condor Award, just let me explain it to you, is the guy who shows basically the most heart, the most discipline, the most character all the way through, and really defines what it means to be a Condor and contribute to a successful program. And it's not always about the person who is doing the most on the field. It's just about someone who's doing everything that they can to help the team in any way. And so this year we have 2 of them, and one of the award winners for the Condor Award is Brian Rubio. All right, so Brian, you were a latecomer also, which just like Ivan shows just how skillful you are to be able to step onto a team like this and contribute. You never, from the minute you said, yes, I will help, you never missed one practice or game, and you never complained, and you never said a word. And if I asked you to play this position, perfect, no problem. I asked you to play this position, no problem. I asked you to sit over there and wait, no problem. Go over there, no problem. And you showed up on time every day with a smile, like a professional every single time. And then I got your freaking report card, and it said A+, 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 excellent student, excellent student, excellent student. And you are a model for what a student athlete should be. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's everything I asked for. Everything that the school asked for, everything that the teachers and your family, anything. I mean, you're going to go big places. This award, the Condor Award, is only a small recognition for you of all the things that you did this year. So, congratulations.
Yeah, that one, that's it. Enseña ese.
The other Condor Award winner is David Nava. Now David is identical to Brian. That's why it was a tie. I could not pick. I mean, there was a bunch of great freshmen who contributed, but David, as a goalkeeper, you know that it's difficult to sub in and sub out. It messes up the flow, and it can cause problems, unfortunately. And I'm not the greatest subber in the world because I'm usually just trying to control the whole game. So as the freshmen know. But the point is that you were at every practice, you were at every game, you were helping. When you went in, you were perfect. You did whatever Brian said, and you were getting better and better, getting stronger and stronger after your knee injury a couple of years ago. And then in the postseason, I will never forget, because I've never seen it before, and I've, with all the great players that have come through this program, I've never seen someone who is not starting do so much to help the guys who are starting do a great job. You guys remember when he was screaming at you to like hit the target, shoot better, whatever, right? And then we're playing, and it's no coincidence that that same game is the game we explode for 4 freaking goals and win. And that contribution comes from the goalkeeper, the backup goalkeeper. That says it all. We deserve to score 4 goals in every single game. We had the ball that much, we created enough chances, we were doing that. That was the whole game plan, was to score 4 goals. While not allowing them to have any. It's difficult, it's freaking difficult. Because you have to be patient, you have to know when your time is, you have to build, you have to go backwards, you have to move around, you have to trust, whatever. But when a backup goalie who's not even going to get to play most likely that day comes out and puts that kind of effort into the warm-up and starts getting into the guys to put goals away, it's no coincidence that, what was it, 20 minutes later, 15 minutes later, Johnny belts in a freaking volley. Right? It's no coincidence that 10 minutes after that, Christian Guzman rounds the keeper after a nice pass from Diego and boom, slips it in. In that game, I mean, this is not that game, but the game, we saw the highlights earlier, we were the best team that's played community college soccer ever. If you watch that highlight video, if you watch the full video, you'll see us moving the ball against a team that beat El Camino at El Camino. They're not a bad team. You'll see us moving it and moving it. You'll see our interchange of positions. You'll see people going all over the place. And then you'll see us getting rewarded at the end of it with goals, which then made everything easier. If you go back and you look at the entire season, every time we scored first and early, we walked it. Every time we waited, didn't get the goal early, it became touch and go. And when we got the contribution from Mr. Nava saying, what the hell are you guys going to wait for today? There's no tomorrow. Boom. Yes? Now, it's not always easy to score, and when you're away from home, and when you got to change in the freaking porta potty, and when you don't get a warm-up space, and when you haven't eaten in a long time, you know, and you're changing your parking spots over and over and over. It's not easy to get that early goal and take control of the game. But it just shows what a contribution is, okay? And I don't want you to underestimate what you did, because I promise you, someday you'll coach a team, you'll have a kid or something you'll coach, or maybe you'll be a pro coach. Who knows what you're going to be, because you're capable of anything. But someday you're going to coach and you're going to understand what a gigantic contribution players in your shoes make. And Brian Rubio's shoes and some of the other guys. And so that is why you have been awarded also the 2014 Oxnard College. Okay, so the other fresh. Okay, jeez. Okay, so now we have freshman of the year. So freshman of the year was also a tie. Freshman of the year is like contributor, newcomer, you know, and it is what it is. It is what it says it is. It's freshman of the year. And so we had a tie this year because of just the talent level. We've never had ties before. I don't want you to think that I do this every single year. I've never had a tie in any award. Okay? Anyone knows anything about how Oxnard College works, we got to figure out how to pay for the extra awards. So these extra awards, we're not giving these away just because like I'm trying to make everyone feel good. These awards are given, and we have to go and do a fundraiser to freaking pay for them. Okay? So these mean something. And the first Freshman of the Year award, okay, because there's two, goes to JJ Leon. JJ. What a player. What a player. What a special player. I mean, you, in your life, you've probably never not been the star. I mean, I've known you for a long time. I've watched you from a distance. I knew you at Ventura High School. I knew you for the club teams you played with. And every time I saw you, you were the starter, the superstar. Get the ball to JJ. He will score. He will create something. He will do something. All of those times. Then you get to Oxnard College, and I got all the stars from all the different high schools, from all the different club teams, and they're all here, and you're like, wow, all right, it's good. It's competitive, okay? You never complained. You never said, please, I should be starting. What's going on? You never said a damn thing. You just kept doing your job the whole time. And you had to overcome, like Christian Guzman, a couple of injuries in the summer, which held you back from being at your full fitness. Well, you kept getting stronger, and you kept getting stronger, and you kept patiently waiting and not complaining, and kept doing whatever you could do, and going in and then showing what you do, get some crosses, get some assists, get some special plays happening, and not doing enough for you and what your standard is, but then boom, kept going, and then the late season comes, and Elmer hurts his knee, and we win the game. We become conference champions for the third straight year. We tie or lose. Mission still have a chance to chase us, and we got an uncomfortable situation driving all the way to Hancock in the final game. What do? JJ comes from that warm-up side to this warm-up side, gets in, doesn't say a word. What do you want me to do? Okay, left back, going for Elmer. Boom, plays perfect, handles the entire situation, serves in a perfect cross, which Diego Ortega puts away, and bam, we're conference champions. These examples, like the ones from Brian, Danny Aguilar, Ivan Donis, David Nava, these are what makes championship teams. Hopefully we can round up, because we're graduating 13 sophomores, hopefully we can round up, 20 dudes with the same mentality that they'll do whatever it takes for the team. Hopefully, because it doesn't come every year. There's been a couple of years where we've had more selfish people and stuff happens, but not you, and not this year. And you came through. And then you went and played in the playoffs because Elmer was still out, and you kept doing excellent. And then you kept going all the way through, and then had more assists and more goals, more assists to, I can't remember. Who was the other assist to in the...
Johnny.
You were the one that crossed it to Johnny. So when David Nava was screaming at everybody to do a good job, and you were working on serving the crosses and put it in better and everything like that, boom, then before anything, what happens? You get down the wing, and we made a bunch of plays, and Guzman overshowed, and then stuff's happening, boom, and the next thing you know, some guy comes up, you line him up, and the JJ that's always been there, the excellent player that's always been there, frickin' throws a shoulder, the guy goes that way, you take him this way, and then you peek out the corner of your eye, and you chip a perfectly weighted ball onto Johnny, who can do nothing but frickin' belt it in past the keeper. I mean, that's the talent. What the hell are we going to do without that? What are we going to do without that? I mean, whew, you know, and so I don't show much love throughout the season. We are at war, we're going to battle every single time, but it's freaking warriors, gladiators, champions like you that step up even though you haven't been shown any love, and then contribute that crucial play. And when we get that crucial play, we get the win, we get the early goal, we get the championships, and we get serious rewards. Next year is going to be a different story. You're going to be a leader. You're going to be taken over from TJ. You're going to be taken over from Speedy, Ozzy. You're going to be one of the guys who's going to be go-to. You're going to be pulling your friends in. You're going to be leading some Estudiantes games. You're going to be handling it all. And I know you can do it. I know you can do it. The hardest part for you is going to be keeping your grades up. And getting 27 units is going to allow us to continue to be eligible. So you don't have to wait till 2016 to come back, which also happens. That's a risk, so you have to be ready for that. You have to step up as student athletes. If you can handle that part, I know the rest of it's going to be easy because of who you are and what you've already displayed in crucial moments this year. Thank you for everything you've done, and congratulations. Well done. The other freshman of the year is Roy Solis, okay? And I think as much as JJ contributed, Roy did a great job there this year too. And anytime I talked to some of the leaders on the team, they were like, "You got to play Roy. You got to play Roy more. Roy's too good." And I remember the first time I saw him playing in the stadium with, I don't know who it was, and I was like, "Who's this guy?" And the problem for Roy is he's just way too humble. He's just so humble, like, yeah, okay, no, you know, he's just, you know, there's no ego there. All he wants to do is just play excellent. And so I'm really hoping that, what happened to him? Did he hurt a finger or something? Okay, I hope it's just a small little problem with the finger and nothing to do with the feet, because that guy is special. He is special, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna breathe him. I'm gonna build this entire team around players like Roy next year, because he reminds me of that guy.
I call you Dad.
Thomas. Thomas James Rodriguez, right?
Yeah. Thomas.
James.
If Roy grows up in Columbia, James.
Yeah, it's James.
Thomas. That's Thomas.
That's Roy. They're gonna erase James. They're gonna put Roy right there. Anyway, so congratulations to Roy. I hope he's okay, and he was the other freshman of the year. All right. There he is. Okay, so now we're going to move on. Okay, so I think we got all the freshmen. Is there any freshmen here that didn't get an award yet? Okay, so we're going, because it takes a lot to be a sophomore. It takes a lot. Not only do you have to come and get your units going and get eligible, but you got to put up with me for an entire more year. You got to show up all the time, and then we got to have the conversation. And I